Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm here with my brother Tim. I'm TJ, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Tim is back from his Disney vacation, and Tim brought a friend back with him from Florida. Tim, tell everybody who you brought back with you.
What's that guy's name? Rona Mouse? Is that what his name is?
Tim contracted the COVID from the most magical place on earth.
Never going back. Never going back. Told Melissa
Really?
never going back. No,
So, Tim, are you really never going back to Disney?
no, I'm not TJ. No, the only way you'd get me back there is I don't know how you get me back there. I just no, never going back.
So,
Never.
what did you experience down there at Disney other than disease and pestilence?
I mean, there's just people everywhere, TJ. Everywhere you look, you feel like you're just staring at people in the face. You're just waiting in lines. You're sweating. It's just I don't know how to explain it. And there's just the Disney adults. No, I mean I don't want to say anything. They're just weird. They're weird people. The Disney adults are weird. Like people waiting in line 2 hours to go see Mickey, and they're like, "I'm a single."
That's
It's a
weird.
little weird. I'm going. You're a
That's
little
weird.
weird. A little
That's
weird.
No, I agree.
Um,
What was the
but I mean,
craziest thing you saw at Disney?
the craziest thing I saw at Disney. Hmm.
I don't know
I
if I
saw
told.
a dude, a large male, dressed up as Louisa from the Marigold. You know
Oh
the
yeah,
one daughter that
yeah, the
picks up
strong one.
the.
Yeah, the strong one.
That's probably the weirdest thing I saw.
Was he able to pull it off?
I wasn't gonna tell him he's not pulling it off. Let me put it that way. And I'm a big guy. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I saw that was pretty crazy.
I had an odd sighting. I was in Breckenridge about a week ago,
Mhm.
and we're at one of the hot springs, and there's like a stream feeds the hot springs, and I saw a mermaid, Tim. There was a lady that came up with her fin, a larger lady, and she unpacked her fin, and I said, "Are you a mermaid?" She goes, "Yes, I am." And I was expecting the punchline. There was no punchline.
She
So
unpacked her fin. What
so
did
she
was
put
her
her
was her fin in a bag?
no, she was like under her arm, and then she sat in the stream,
Or did
put
she
on her
walk?
fin.
Did she walk up with the
She
fin
did.
underneath her
She
arm? Okay.
walked up with the fin. She identified as a mermaid. She put the fin on, and
Okay.
she laid there in the stream, the hot stream, and was a mermaid. And I thought I was waiting for the punchline. Oh yeah, which mermaid are you? She's like, no, I'm a mermaid. So she identifies as a mermaid.
Is she still there?
She could be. I don't know. I left. She was still in that water. I don't know.
That's
I was going to go ask her
that's
questions. I was not allowed to ask her questions. My wife
why
gave me
not?
the kibosh. She says you cannot ask any questions because you're going to ask dumb questions. And I was like, I just want to know
Was
more about
she?
her
What
mermaid
did she
life.
like, look at you guys as she put her fins into the water and just
She did. She was sitting right behind us. It was very odd. So I took some pictures, and as I was taking pictures of us, I got her in the picture as well because nobody would believe me.
was she bathing in the sun as she was flipping her fin in the water?
Well, she was laying there. She wasn't bathing. She's just laying there. And
Some
we
people
left. Well,
could
we left. She was there.
some people could have thought I was a whale at the pool at Disney, not mistaking to
They could have.
that could have been it too.
They could have. It's interesting. I can't figure out nowadays. Everybody's
That is a
has their
that
own thing.
that's a crazy. That's weird.
Well,
That's
we're not talking. There's no ocean. We're talking about a mountain stream. I don't think mermaids exist in mountain streams.
no, I don't think so either. I mean, that's weird. That's
It
classically
is.
weird. Classically weird. But yeah, I
It's
mean,
it.
I got nothing that I'm trying to think that anything. TJ, I don't think anything came in that stratosphere. That's crazy of the mermaid. But I mean, Disney was Disney. Like I said, every line was. You try to master the lightning lane thingies.
It doesn't
You're
matter.
looking at your
It's
phone
just
all
a
day.
license to print money. It's a license to print money. Disney.
I had so many portable fans that I thought from TikTok, watching TikToks for the past 2 months, I was like, I'm gonna be in my own personal air conditioning. That's crap. They're all
It is.
crap.
Well,
Um,
you're in the jungle. I mean, what can you do in the jungle?
in
I've
in
seen
the in
Jurassic Park. It doesn't look pleasant.
and for me, the kick is groin in the biggest kick in the groin pretty much every night when we were at Magic Kingdom was there should normally you could take a boat back to our resort. We stayed at Grand Floridian. It's a nice resort. Should be direct. Da, da, da. Of course, when I'm there, the docks broken at the Grand Floridian, so there's no boat. So you can jump on the monorail, but it's going to take you off until about 7 different places before you get back to your resort. The other option was walking
You're not
from
going to.
Magic.
That's not. Is that an option, Tim?
I walked twice, TJ, two
Did you
nights.
really?
Um,
Wow, I'm proud of you.
the first night,
You must have been like a ball of sweat after you got in from the walk, Tim.
TJ, the first night, I mean, unbeknownst to me, that after we get back to the hotel, my wife tells me I had the chafing so bad between my legs. It was unbelievable.
That's
Unbeknownst
a
to me, we
pattern
get
for you, Tim. That's a
well,
pattern.
we get back to the resort, and my wife pulls out this magic stick. She's like, "Why didn't you ask me for some of this?" I'm going, Melissa, I didn't know you had any of this.
What is
So
it,
I
like some
use
type
it.
of a glide thingy?
TJ, I don't know, but I used it the other days at the park. I may bathe myself in this stuff permanently because I never had. I looked at her again. I go, I can't. But like, I think as the last day, as we're walking back, I go, I can't believe you didn't tell me about the magic stick the first day.
She's holding
I,
out on you.
I think she did it on purpose.
She could have. She could have. She could have.
So
Teach you a
yeah,
lesson. That's crazy. Well,
it was
Tim,
rough.
and for those of you that we probably lost half our listenership with that story. I appreciate it.
It is what it is, man.
Oh, maybe we doubled it. Maybe we doubled it. I don't know. So we're talking about we're going to break down the Steelers and the Charger game coming up. But before we do that, we got to look back a little bit to the Steelers and the Broncos. Hey, a win is a win, baby. We're stacking wins. It wasn't pretty, 13-6. What are some of your thoughts about the win against the let's just be real. The Broncos are not very good, and I personally think that Sean Payton is a fraud.
He had some questionable things that I mean that I still don't understand him kicking not going for the onside kick after that
Well, and he
makes no
kicked the
sense to
field
me.
goal even though you need two scores. Why'd you
I
do that?
I I don't know. Bo Nix stinks.
Oh,
Bo
he does
Nix is
stink.
a fraud.
What's
Bo
up? Why,
Nix
why does everybody
stinks.
think Sean Payton is so great? He clearly doesn't know what he's doing in Denver. Clearly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think
So,
in
what were
due
your thoughts
time
about the game? What I mean, obviously, a lot of penalties.
they should have beat them by 1,000,000 points.
Yeah.
They should have beat them by 1,000,000. I don't know what to think about them, dude, because Denver stinks. Denver's going to be Denver's one of those teams that we're going to look back and they should almost be on the clock. Them and Carolina, they're terrible. Denver's bad.
Carolina's bad.
So I thought they did what I expect them to do on defense. I thought they maybe be a little bit better on defense getting to Bo Nix. I think they got to him twice or three
Well,
times. I thought
one of the reasons of that is they held T.J. Watt every play.
I don't
I, I
disagree.
I don't understand how they get ticky tacky with our guys, but literally they're like three blind mice when it comes to our guys coming off the edge. It's absolutely ridiculous.
There were some questionable calls in that game. I get it, but to me, it was not a. I felt the same way coming out of the Atlanta game as I did this game with this team.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know what that offense has to do something.
yeah. I can't tell if it's the offense isn't just poised. And again, it takes offense a little bit longer time to get rolling than the defense. I can't tell if it's just a game plan or if it's what it is. I mean, he didn't set the world on fire, but he didn't look bad. He was 13 for 20, 117 yards, one TD, had that ridiculous throw to
Mhm.
Pickens, which was, I mean, how many QBs in the league can make that throw?
I threw my shoulder out watching that from the bed.
It was ridiculous. I think if you give him back, and even like that touchdown that he threw down to Pickens down there, that was a ticky tack call on Van Jefferson too. I don't offensive pass interference is just that's
I
crazy.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I mean, he didn't make mistakes, but he didn't do anything to be like, besides, like I said, besides to me, the throw to Pickens, you didn't wow yourself. To me, it's like I almost feel like every time I'm watching him, I'm waiting for like a play to like break down so he rushes for 100 yards somewhere. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's either that or
Well,
I'm waiting for a bonehead play. One of the two.
yeah, he could. I mean, I got to say this that play to that touchdown to Washington, great design, great placement, great hands. That was just great.
That dude should have been getting the ball 1,000,000 times in the
Yeah,
Reds. He's the biggest human alive.
he is.
I
I
just
mean, that's
just
great.
I
Yeah. And the running game wasn't too bad. They ran for like 141 yards. It wasn't bad. The defense is pretty stifling. Golly.
what didn't get me about the play calling got me a little weird was especially like I think they were in a way to ready to kind of start running the clock and Najee's not in the game and they had Cordell Patterson. Just
Yeah.
give the ball to 22.
I don't know. I'm not
I
sold
don't.
on Cordell Patterson as a heavy runner. I think he is down the line. I mean, you put him in. I want to see. And again, we don't know if Jalen Warren's 100% yet either. But yeah, I don't need to see him.
Don't
I
be
don't know.
cutesy. Give the ball to 2-2 and just
Yeah,
run it down their throats.
I agree. I agree. So a win is a win. A couple things that stood out to me. Pickens is the man. I
Pickens
mean,
is a dog. Again,
dude,
I told you he would be fine. You're gonna get, I said, 2 or 3 years out of him. We're in year 3 until his head pops off. If somehow his head can stay right, he'll be great. But dude,
he
he's
looks
like a
like he's good.
maniac.
He looks pretty solid. And I mean, they're throwing, you're talking about he's running through some of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's making them look human and average.
The dude's a freak. It's just
Yeah.
he has the attitude of a 13-year-old boy. I just if he gets mature at all, dude's a freak. He's
Did
a
you see what
freak.
Field said about him? He's great. He's the most athletic guy. He goes, and he's crazy. But
He's
he's like,
nuts,
like
dude.
in a good way. And I'm like, well, at least he knows he's crazy. I mean, people
He's
all see
nuts.
he's crazy. He is nuts.
He's
I'll tell you,
nuts.
I was very impressed with Frazier. Uh,
Dude, he may
uh,
TJ, he may be the best center in the league.
I think you're right. The way he's throwing guys around like ragdolls. Furtado would look great.
Yeah.
Um, the whole thing with Jones, we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, we still got to get Isaac Seumalo back. When we get him back too, he's still probably our best lineman. I mean, we're going to get him back in a couple of weeks.
Frazier is nasty, man.
He's mauling people. I mean, just mauling people.
he's just not like he's dominating people.
He is.
Dominating people.
No, he looked really good. I mean, even from the game too, it's apparent to me we do need another wide receiver. I don't know if Wilson would be the answer to that if he's coming back. It looks like he may be back this week, but we got to find another wide receiver because those wide receivers stink.
Mark my word, and by week 5 they'll have another guy in here. To me, I think it's either going to be Sutton, somebody from Denver, or somebody from one of these crappy. They have to. They can't string along these guys that are going out
No,
there. They stink, dude.
I would mind Cortland Sutton. He would be good. Somebody was talking about getting back Johnson back. I'm like, we don't need that back. Why do we want him back?
He's a head case, but dude, he would work right now. I don't want him back. He's a
Wouldn't
head
it be
case,
funny though
dude.
if they got him back like cheaper? Somehow they got him back at like a cheaper deal.
I, it is
I'll
what it
tell you
is. Like I
what,
said,
that trade's looking better and better now. We got some D backs. Holy crap.
Trice is
Those
very good, dude.
those
Trice is very
corners.
good, man.
Well, Trice is good, but he was a draft pick. Getting was it they got Johnson
Yeah,
or Dante John yeah,
yeah.
Dante Johnson. He you know what? We got three good. Yeah, Trice that interception in the end zone. The size we have, and Joey Porter just taking their best receiver out of the game.
Dude, stop wearing yellow gloves.
Yeah,
Stop wearing yellow
no,
gloves,
no.
dude.
Wear,
You're playing
wear the
against somebody.
glove of whatever their jersey is. Wear that glove.
I just don't understand. I'm going, dude. I mean, don't be that dumb. Just don't be that dumb.
I agree. Well,
I,
so they had a good game again. The Steelers have a victory. They're 2-0. They're in top of the AFC North, which is good. Hate to see hate to see Baltimore get beat by the Raiders. Hate to see that. And here, I'm living in Philly right now, or in the Philly area, and I mean, hey, that Falcon victory is looking a little bit better now that the Falcons, slapped around the Eagles. But you talk about it.
I don't know if the
You
Eagles
talk,
are any good either. I
well,
don't
you know
think
what
they're
it
any
is?
good.
Their coaching, some of his call, all they got to do is run that clock out, and they
TJ,
win.
I don't think their defense is very good.
No, I agree. I agree. So we'll see what happens, but it makes the Falcons win look a little bit better. So then we move on to the Chargers. The Chargers are also an undefeated team. They got a pretty heavy defense. They beat the Raiders and the Panthers. I mean, who are the Panthers and who are the Raiders? They're not very good. They're coached by Jim Harbaugh. Tim, let me ask you a very important question. Which Harbaugh brother do you hate worse, Jim or John?
Jim, by far.
Yeah.
He's a I no, it's Jim.
Yeah. He's got a very punchable face.
Yeah, but he punched back and probably beat both of us up, dude. That's the bad part.
Tim and I, we had a bad experience with Jim Harbaugh. You remember our bad experience with Jim Harbaugh, Tim?
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was one It was the
AFC
AFC title
Championship
game.
game.
Yeah, I remember that, dude. I think yeah, I remember being. I think
We were at
I
Three River
was what?
Stadium. We were there, baby. We'd smuggled in like about 20 cheeseburgers. I remember I've never heard a stadium so quiet. When he chucked that ball for that Hail Mary, and it was dead quiet. And then I remember seeing the ref just move his hands like incomplete, and then it went bananas.
That was the first time I was scared in a stadium that I was going to fall from like the 300 level, like down to the ground, because everybody went nuts, and I go, "Oh my god!" Here, I was afraid, like I was afraid some big fat guy was going to fall on me, and it was just going to continue. Everything was going to continue to roll down.
It was crazy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jim. I don't know. He's just I don't like John either. I don't like the Harbaugh brothers. That year they met in the Super Bowl was like the worst year of my life. Why one of
Was
those
that
guys
the
is
year
gonna have to
that
win
the
something.
lights went out anyways too? That
Yeah,
whole
a
thing. Yeah.
candlestick because it was a dump. You know why? California's a dump. That's why.
No, hold on for a second. I gotta get some light in here.
Yeah, get some light. Tim is leaving. He needs some light. Because Tim, there you go. That's Tim.
Oh,
There he looks better. You see, now you look all fuzzy and weird. What's going on with
do
that?
I?
Yeah. I mean, look at that, Tim. Tim, you look like
I
you're in one of
do.
those like P. Diddy videos.
Whoa! Don't be saying that now, dude. Do I
I
still look
kid.
lighty?
I kid.
Oh, I
Yeah, you
do.
look terrible. I don't know what Tim. Tim, you got to work these technical problems out way before you get in. Way before you sit down and you take the chair. Tim's back here messing with stuff.
I know. Hey, it's. I can't believe you said the P Diddy thing. That is a wild statement to make right now.
Now,
Now look
Tim,
at me.
what is going on with you? You gotta go. What were you doing before?
Why isn't anything working?
Is that what you had on before?
There we go. Is that
Yeah,
better?
let's just do that.
Wow,
Let's just keep
that was
that. Yeah,
awesome. I should have
yeah.
just done the rest of the pod and with the silhouette would have been spectacular.
Oh, that'd be great. So before we get into talking about the Harbaugh brother that we hate and the Chargers, let's jump into the Yinzer mailbag. What is the Yinzer mailbag? It's when you, the Yinzer fan, get to ask us, the Yinzer Bros, any question you want. If you got any questions, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. And hopefully you get your question read on this international podcast. Tim, you got anything in the Yinzer mailbag?
It's kind of hilarious because the mush actually asked the first question was, "What was the worst moment at Disney for me last week?" And
Oh,
I mean,
it's the COVID. You getting the COVID and
no, I mean TJ, I would rather have the COVID than have the chafing. A hundred days out of 100 days of the week.
yeah, chafing's bad. Yeah.
Um, so after 2 weeks of assessment of the quarterback one of QB one, TJ, are you still in love with Mr. Fields?
I would say this. I mean, what is the knock on Fields? The knock on Fields is he's a turnover machine,
Mm-hmm.
can't read a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he has done everything we've asked him to do in the offense. I think they're slowly letting the offense out for him. He's gaining more and more confidence. How many turnovers has he had?
None.
Zero. I mean, he's had some fumbled snaps and stuff like that, but I think he's growing into the position. He's an athletic freak. At this point, I wouldn't mind to see what Russell brings to the table. But I can tell you this: if
Yep.
they win Sunday,
You
and
can't start
he,
Russell Wilson.
yeah, then I mean, Russell, you might as well ship him to
TJ,
Miami or someplace.
it all this conversation about Russ. I've told. What did I say from week one? What's going to happen? I'm going to catch eyes with you in Vegas, and it's going to happen. Everything I'm saying, everything I said, it's happening right now. I was like, he's just going to play good enough to just, you're not gonna, week seven, he's going to get hurt, and Russ is going to start playing good, and then you're going to be stuck at the end of the year. Like, what bum quarterback do I pay $100 million to?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say this right now, and again, I would like to see. I'm looking forward to this game a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope Herbert doesn't play or he's on one leg. I don't need this. I want to be tested. I don't want to be. I want to stack wins. But I would like to see. I'm hoping that they open up the playbook a little bit more this week because they know they're going to need a little bit more offense to win. Although we'll talk about this with the Chargers. The Chargers blueprint is almost identical to the Steelers blueprint. They're, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
they're
know.
they're they're running the ball. That's what they're doing.
Well,
It's just crazy. So I don't know. Well, I would say right now, yeah, he's my QB1.
all right. So, how many points do the Steelers need to score on average per game this season to get 9 or more wins?
I'm going to
It's a
say
good question, Mush. Jeez.
that's a great question. I'm going to say this. I mean, their defense is lights out. Um, they have a ball control offense. I think I think if they can score at least 24 points, they average between 20 and 24 points. I think they'll win at least 9 games.
Oh, if they score 24 points, they're going to win 13 games, TJ.
They will. I just their defense. Tim, I don't think we've seen a defense like this, top to bottom, and this deep in a long time. Do you know who else is playing like a stud?
Their defense is suffocating, man. It is.
You
You're
know
right.
who else is playing is Cam. Did you watch Cam on
He's playing
Sunday?
well. Yes. And
He looks.
the
Keanu Benton looked
safety.
good. Yeah.
The
Oh,
safety.
Deshaun
Deshaun
Elliott.
Elliott.
Holy
Oh,
crap! Hey, they brought back
he,
your number one guy too.
I can't believe they brought 34 back, dude.
Hey,
I
but
can't believe it.
do you have a problem though? He's like he's on the practice squad bench guy. I mean, he's
Yeah, I have
depth.
a problem with it because they were getting rid of all the guys on the list, and then you brought numeral uno, who I've had for years, back to on the list. Omar, buddy, come on.
I think they
I mean,
brought
next
St.
thing you
Pierre
know,
back this week too.
Chicolo's going to be back, and
No,
the rest
I
of the
think
crew
Chicolo's in prison. I think he's in
probably
prison
is.
somewhere. What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
Ooh, can Fields play any better than he has the first two games, and will
Yes.
Russ be better?
No. Well, I can't. I shouldn't say that. Here's the reality. Has Russ made enough improvements with his calf? Did you see some of the video this week? What makes you think he's going to be back before the bye? He looks as bad
I
now as
don't
he did
think so. He
before.
looks like me. He looks like me, like trying to, like in my brain when I see when I went out to visit you and I went to watch your Tyler and those guys play like pickup football.
Yeah,
Russ looks like me trying to warm up, throwing a football, knowing my shoulder's just completely broken.
he
Like I was
does.
like, yeah, this looks good. This looks good. That's what Russ does. He's taking like I'm seeing Justin Smith and even that white dude that's the other third. They're running around doing quarterback, and he's just
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm like,
he looks bad.
doesn't look good, dude.
Well, what, you remember who else? Who else had the calf injury took him out all year?
The
Just
calf
recent.
injury,
Yeah, remember?
the, the calf injury. I know we had the Achilles, which was with Aaron Rodgers, right?
No, but you remember who in our division had that calf injury? It took him out almost the
Oh,
whole year.
Joey B.
Joey B. So I don't think it's something to mess with. I think he's just. I mean, because here's the issue: the calf injury turns into the Achilles injury if you don't treat it right.
I agree. I mean,
So I don't know. I mean, so if it's week 8 and Justin's your guy and you're 7-1, why do you? I mean, the
because
decision is made.
he's gonna get hurt week 7
He could. I mean, he
in
could.
Las
Although
Vegas.
he's a big, fierce athlete. I mean,
In Las
he's
Vegas. I don't know if I don't think Justin's made it through a whole year. Truthfully, as a
well.
quarterback.
I mean, but has he been protected as much as he's been now? You can see he's playing a little bit smarter.
No, no way. Because I mean, you look at what the Bears are throwing out there. The throw, dude. What did I say? Did I stated it perfectly. It's like they have all the weapons in the world. They got guys like me and you playing offensive line,
You're
and I
right.
feel
They look
bad for
bad.
that kid, dude.
He's
He's gonna
running
get
around like
his
crazy.
I mean, you shouldn't be painting your nails when you know you got a line like that. People are coming after you
That's true. No, that's true.
because you just want dudes to kill you, and they can because you got nobody to block for you. That would
Yeah.
be like me giving up. You know what? Seeing me run 4 plays is like playing guard for the Bears right now, and be like,
They look bad. Their line looks bad. No.
brutal, dude,
What else you got in the
brutal.
injury mailbag?
It's a good question. Hey, what's in a hot dog, TJ? What's in a hot dog?
You know what's in a hot dog, Tim? Goodness.
It
Goodness
is
is in a hot dog.
goodness.
Especially if it's a Portillo's hot dog.
Mm-hmm. And he wants to know why am I irritable in game days?
Tim, you because you embody Tom Harris. I mean, that's in those game day
But you,
things.
but you know what? It's only when I'm there. Like when we're in Vegas,
Oh,
I
you were
wasn't
great in
very irritable.
Vegas. You were great in Vegas.
When I'm watching games by myself, it's almost
Right.
like I have to. It's brutal. I'm in my own head. I'm in my own head hours before it even starts.
When does the shirt come off?
Um, week 1, it was definitely about 7 minutes left, fourth quarter. Last week, because I mean, I feel like what's the Guel that's been locked into not a
Oh,
princess, but
the gulag or
the gulag dude that's been locked in a castle for a week since it's like
yeah.
I'm online. I have
Does your wife like slide food under the door? Is that how she
she
feeds you?
knocks, and then she runs. It's unbelievable.
So what's a typical meal for Tim in the gulag?
Whatever my wife just throws up at me, like I can't taste anything, so it doesn't matter. Like I told her, I go, you might as well just start throwing PPJs up and just not even just throw them up, you know. Like yeah, I only have access to one bathroom that I'm allowed to use, and like everything else. It's like I'm in the top dungeon of the castle, and there's nobody. It's just me. It's just me by myself. I feel awful. I can hear my dog. Like I want to see my dog. They have to FaceTime me. They've been FaceTiming me to go to bed. You know how bad it is when you're the
Yeah,
room 3 rooms over from your daughter and you got to just FaceTime with her.
that's bad. That's bad.
I'm in Loserville, USA right now. So, to answer your question, the second game I was in here that all Sunday. About I was standing up looking at the TV, a binge away from my face with no
Shirt
t-shirt on.
off,
About
TV on. Yeah. So, guys, just so you know, I
three
mean,
minutes
Tim,
left.
shirt off with Tim. Tim's a hairy man.
Yeah, I mean, back's getting better. We bought a couple of devices to help the back.
Tim has some. I mean, the equipment that Tim has to remove the hair from his back. We're talking heavy equipment.
I mean,
We're not talking commercial use. We're talking professional things.
it's you start getting down wormholes and TikToks. You start figuring stuff out that could help, you know, cure years of problems and of of me insecurities for me. We're gonna try it out. It may
I
may
I hear
zap you to
you.
death, may hurt you to death,
Hey, but
but
it could be the silver bullet. It could be the greatest thing ever.
it could be. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I'm normally hairy, but the back's getting better. The back's not combable anymore.
Well, that's we're moving in the right direction. That's good.
Yes, but
That's
yeah,
good.
I'm usually shirtless, pantsing around,
Yeah,
watching the
I
last three
get
minutes
we'll
of the
get to
game.
experience that in Vegas. That'll be awesome. So hey, let me ask you a
No,
question. Oh no, you'll have clothes on. Let me ask you a question. How would you rate Arthur Smith's performance so far?
I don't know, dude, because I'm not seeing dudes run wide open like I thought they would.
Well, you're seeing George get some separation stuff. I mean, the other guys are bad, but I mean, what do you think of his schemes with like obviously they're doing play action. I mean, even like
I
that. I
think
mean, you saw Darnell Washington like spread out that from that
TJ,
touchdown.
I can't judge Arthur Smith because I can tell, I can tell Mike T has his strings all over that. He's going, do not throw the ball over the middle of the field. Throw it on. TJ, the offense looks similar. It looks very similar to what Kenny Pickett was doing, truthfully. Everything's to the
I
outside.
I think the running game looks different, and I like the play action aspects of it.
It looks different because you got dudes who can block, like Zach Frazier. You don't have a center like me or you.
But you are missing though a good number two receiver. I mean, I think Van
But
Jefferson's is like a three, probably a four.
But you can't tell me you do not still feel that Mike Tomlin has his
Oh
hands
no,
all over the throat of this offense.
I think he's saying, "Hey, don't turn the ball over." And maybe this is what I'm taking, solace in. Maybe it's just a progressive work for him. Maybe he's like, we're just going to slowly give him the keys, to everything that's going on. And so far, I mean, it's been working. I mean, they're not turning the ball over. They're moving the ball. They should have had more. I mean, they should have had at least one touchdown. They could have had two more touchdowns this week if they didn't have those penalties.
I agree, but to me, it's like you gotta, at some point in time, you gotta let the dude play. You gotta let
I
him play.
agree. I agree. And maybe they're working into it. So, let me ask you one other question too. Why do you think, if you look at the league this year, scoring, offensive production is way down? Why do you think it's so far down?
I heard somebody complain about the double high safety
Oh, that's
crap,
That's Kuiper. He's an idiot.
but to me, it's stupid. I mean,
He's like, we should ban the double say. Well, it's football. Come on,
I
man.
mean, why do I think? I think that basically you don't have the guys that could just pick you apart like you used to. The Brady's, the
Yeah.
Bens, the Rivers. You had a couple dudes that can do that. I don't think you got dudes that can sit back and just pick you apart to death anymore.
Yeah, I think that could be part of it. And you see, there's been a lot of offensive injuries again this year. A lot of wide receivers are gone for the year. I mean, running backs, McCaffrey, only God knows when he's going to come back.
And I think everybody's trying to get that. You, they want that Tyreek Hill guy that can kind of get past that double two shell, and it's
Yeah.
just not. You don't have that everywhere.
No, you don't.
And I
You,
think a lot of times now that just because of guys like Tyreek, the safeties are playing so far back, they don't want to get beat. They're making teams try to dink and dunk you down the field, and teams aren't patient like they're not patient like a Brady or a Manning was. Will take that all day, and next thing you know, you're losing by paper cut.
yeah, you're right. No, I think you're right. All right. Anything else in your mailbag, or is that it?
Nah, that's it for Marcus.
All right.
Oh, he said
Once
go
again,
Panthers too. which I will tell you, I was very watch the
Oh, they look
women's
great.
volleyball team. Very good.
They did good. Well, so did I mean the Panthers beat the Mountaineers in the backyard brawl too,
They did. They
which
did.
was
They look
nice.
very good.
They look great. All right, that's it for the Yinzer mailbag. Again, if you got any questions for us, you could email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com and we'll get you on the podcast. Let's talk a little bit about the Chargers. Tim, do the Chargers scare you?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Not
with
really.
you. Let's start with the Chargers offense. Obviously, you got Justin Herbert. Now he's a little banged up, moving around a little bit. We
If
know
that
that he
dude
can
can't,
do.
if that dude can't move, they're gonna annihilate the Chargers.
Oh, I think you're right. And right now he doesn't look great. Now, what's weird is this. I mean, he's not been throwing great, huge numbers. I think he's had 3 TDs this year, but his numbers aren't that gaudy. Dobbins and Edwards are a pretty decent running combination.
Hmm.
We'll have to contend with that. How do you think their offense matches up with the Steeler defense?
I don't think well at all because it's, I mean, I don't know. Let me put it this way: the Roman, the same guy that's been with the Ravens for a year. Only difference was like you had Lamar Jackson that could run, and I knew, you had to respect that read option with Herbert because he could actually run. If you can't run, you don't gotta really expect it. You can stack the box and see what happens. I don't think they have a receiver good enough to beat us.
Yeah, I
Truthfully,
agree.
I think the magical piece is not going to be. I think that rookie guy's going to do pretty good against T.J. Watt. He's done pretty good against first two guys he's pretty much faced. I think it's going to be that opposite side where Smith's coming from. I think
Yeah,
he's going to
Highsmith.
cause havoc um, on their other tackle. So, I, if it's anything like they've been doing, they've been able to get pressure without having to send blitzes.
Four
So if they
guys.
can, if they're stopping their run, not having to send any run blitzes, Steelers are going to kill this team, dude. They should.
You know, it was good too. Again, it's just refreshing to see the Steelers, running with those tight ends, those inside linebackers. Our speed at inside linebacker, we're just so much faster.
Freakish.
Oh, it is. So I
I think
think too,
I think it's the total. I think it's a total defense in general, not just even the. It seems like the secondary is so much faster, man.
they are. They are. I mean, it's just such a big change. I'm with you too. I think we match up pretty well with the Steeler or with the Chargers offense. I think that the Steelers are the real deal. I think they harassed again. Kirk Cousins wasn't 100%, but I watched what he did to Philly,
Hmm.
and he picked Philly apart. He couldn't pick us apart. We kept moving him off a spot, which is good. So we'll see what's going on. Let's talk about the Charger defense. Again, they got a little bit. They got some decent defense. They're the number one scoring defense in for points allowed so far. But I think that's a little bit of a fraud too because of the Panthers.
Panthers stink, man.
Yeah, I mean they're bad. They do have Fox on the edge. They got some big dogs in the middle. But my question is, have they played anybody that runs the ball like we do, that could throw guys around? I'm curious to see what Zach Frazier does with these big guys in there. Can we still move these guys out?
Their two end guys scare the hell out of me. Mack and Bosa. I mean, they're
Yeah,
good. Um, I don't know how Faltani's going to handle. I'm assuming that's going to be Bosa, and then I don't. It scares me to death. Dan Moore playing against Mac, so I mean that could be a huge, huge thing. To me, the only way to neutralize those guys is the user read option, and I would have Justin Fields running a whole bunch this game, dude.
sure, absolutely. Which I think could be a good recipe. I mean, golly, he doesn't have to sit back there too much. And then, again, I think their strength has been if they continue to run between the tackles, those guys, you kind of neutralize what those guys are going to do anyway. And again,
Hmm.
this could be a great game for Justin Fields because, I mean, how many guys in the league have his speed to get outside of those guys? I mean, they come in, they take a wrong angle, he's gone. Um,
You got that too, and then you're not gonna have the ability to like they've seen the first 2 weeks against Atlanta and Denver, where you had Sertan and I think you had the corner from Atlanta. They were actually able to single up on Pickens a little bit. You know, they don't have. I think their best cornerback is Asante Samuels Jr., which
mhm.
if they put him on Pickens all day by himself, I'd throw him the ball every time, every single
Yeah.
time. So that is going to be another key to this too. Is that I mean their secondary isn't great, but you're going to have to. I just I say all this, but I still feel it's going to be a safe game plan. You're not going to see anything in the middle, and you should see stuff in the middle against this team because their secondary is not very good.
Well, we'll see. So we'll see how they rank up. So Tim, what is your score prediction for the game this week?
I still think it's going to be low. I think we're going to see probably a 17-13 game, Steelers.
I was going to say 17-10. So I think we're about in the right thing here. I think you'll see some field goals here. You got to love what Queen said this week. You see what he says because I can't wait to get to Pittsburgh and have them play Renegade while I'm
I
there. I
know.
mean,
I can't.
yeah,
I haven't seen that in forever myself, man.
yeah, it should be good. All right.
Electric.
Well, that's what we got this week for the Yinzer Bros. Again, if you like what you hear, share the podcast with all your friends. Please subscribe to YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Once again, we're the Yinzer Bros.
Don't go see the mouse. Bad things happens when you
The
go see the
bad
mouse.
things about
He takes your money.
he does.
He takes your health.
He
He
does.
takes your happiness.
Takes your will. He breaks your will, Tim.
I mean, you could very easily write a Disney story about me right now. Going to
We
see the
could.
mouse, and they
That's
put
right.
me in a jail back in Winfield, Illinois, and
We'll
I'm
call you
in the
we'll call you
beast.
Cinderfella.
That's why I am Cinderfella,
Cinderfella.
Cinderfella.
All right. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number one out here, right?
See ya.